turns out that our weapons that we're spending millions of dollars on are being defeated by Russian cyber attackers, and the Ukrainians are able to build more effective drones in their garage than the high-tech automated weapons that we are sending over there.
Is it millions or billions?
Millions what?
Millions or billions?
Or billions that we've sent over there, yeah.
Okay.
But so basically the very highly sophisticated weapons that we've sent over there using GPS and stuff like that, they've been able to like hack into these things and render them useless, and stuff that Ukrainians have made in their garage is more effective than what we have. And now this is concerning on many levels, like one being because, in addition to that, if you go to the hypersonic one, it's also being reported that China and Russia are ahead of us in the hypersonic missile race. But, how could these things be the case when, if you go to the next one, we have, the bigger budget, the next 10 combined, are the next one. 1 trillion out of the 5 trillion of our budget goes towards military spending. And then we're getting price gouged by the defense contractors. We're getting charged double what the stuff's actually worth when we're giving these contracts out. It's actually like one of the few bipartisan issues where they're calling out the defense contractors. But then it gets even weirder. So they started auditing the Pentagon for the first time in 2018. It's never passed a single audit.
2018 they started?
They never passed a single one since then.
Single one.
Filled 6 audits in a row. And then if you could go to the video, so there's like multiple accounts of trillions of dollars missing. So you'll recognize this one. There you go.
This is Rumsfeld?
Oh, yeah.
Let me hear this one.
According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
It's gotten worse.
Roger, to hear
that's nothing.
2 point whatever trillion dollars in 2001, they can't find the transactions, and he just.
Did you see the date on that video?
September
September 10th, 2001. The next day, September 11th, 2001. And according to certain reports on the internet, the plane that, if it was a plane that struck the Pentagon, struck it in the auditing section of the Pentagon, which was investigating the missing 2.3 trillion.
What a coincidence!
Look at that right there.
I know that's insane in itself. But so this is 24 years ago. But can you go to the next one, Cal? So now they're saying they can't account for 63% of 4 trillion. Next one.
Jeez.
Has our government spent $21 trillion of our money without telling us? Next one. The Pentagon's $35 trillion accounting black hole.
Dude, that's not it. By the way, I want people to understand. That's $35 trillion. Like
our GDP is 27 trillion.
Like, where the hell is this money going?
Exactly.
To?
I mean, I'm obsessively digging into this, but like, I just think it's something that we should all kind of be collectively obsessed about, finding out like where's this money going, like, and why do we not have better weapons in Ukraine at the very least if we're spending all this money?
Yeah, Roger, we're like with that type of like that number sounds like one of those Austin Powers billion quadrillion $35 trillion black hole.
Was there not a news report just days ago that we inadvertently by mistake sent $6.2 billion more to Ukraine than had been appropriated?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was in the airport in Chicago trying to get home, and there was a veteran in line in front of me at the little store, and he wanted an energy drink, or I think it was a protein drink. And when he found out how much it was, he went to put it back because he couldn't afford it.
Oh. Wow.
And I said, dude, I'll buy your drink. It's on me. He said,
Nice.
wow, man, thanks. I mean, we have homeless veterans in this country, and we're shipping $6.2 billion to Ukraine by mistake. It's outrageous.
Yeah,
100%.
But Vinny, when he hit me with this, we're sitting at the house, and he hits me with this 32 trillion. I was like people don't understand. Like they barely understand what $1 million is. Like they understand how much someone that has $1 million, how they live. They don't understand how much $1 billion. Like it's like a crazy amount of money. There's very few billionaires in comparison to the world population.
Yes.
And when you start talking about $1 trillion, like I was just thinking like how to hide $1 trillion. Like everyone that is a Fed or work for the Pentagon will have something like, I don't know, $400 billion. So everyone be richer than Bill Gates if they were handing out the money to each one.
Oh my God.
Like it's a number that is crazy. Like,
and unbelievable.
I don't know how the money's not showing anywhere because
Right.
that will buy a lot of weapons. Like the most expensive thing in the world is the International Space Station. Okay, that's the most expensive thing that we
How
ever.
much, do you know how much it costs?
That's $100 billion.
$100 billion.
$100 billion to build the internet. That's the most expensive thing we ever made.
Yeah.
And we're talking about 32 trillion.
35
trillion. So like, imagine we could build. I don't know. I don't want to do the math right now, but like, it's an amount of money it's absolutely insane. Like, even if they were doing something crazy, like building an underground city under the United States or whatever, like the hiding that type of money is impossible. I can't even think about it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
No, it's like 10% of all the money in circulation. So I just like where could they possibly where could this have gone? Like, is it a black budget thing? Is it like them just like kind of siphoning money off over the years? Because like it was 2.3 trillion in the year 2000, and then we spent 12 trillion in Iraq, and then now we're 35 trillion that we can't account for. So like, what's going on?
Dude, that number, like, I'm still baffled because, and again, I know the audience gets, guys, like when you hear that somebody's a billionaire, it's like, holy shit, they made it. That's 999 billion to become a trillion, and there's 35 of it that we don't know where the hell.
The whole war, all the years of the war in Iraq, it was 12 billion.
Trillion.
That's it.
12 trillion. 12 trillion.
Okay,
Yeah.
for how many
trillion.
years?
Like 20 years.
20. I mean, that's
20 years
that's,
of war, moving equipment, moving people.
Yeah,
paying
people are
salary.
choppers are crashing.
Choppers
tanks
are
blowing
like,
up.
But that's
12
accounted
years.
for though.
Yeah, at least we know. You know, I feel bad, but I mean, at least we know where the money was spent. Rob, what do you think?
It's great. Well, I think all of where you mentioned our weapons and where are they? Well, we gave all our good weapons to Ukraine. That's why the Ukraine has better weapons than us, because our good weapons.
They're building shit in their garages better than the good stuff that we're sending them.
Well,
Like, that's what pisses me off the most. It's like, okay, fine, like, you're gonna rip us off, you're gonna siphon money off of us for taxpayer dollars to have a strong military, whatever. But if you're gonna have a weaker military or weaker aspects of your military than other countries, and you're ripping us off and hiding this money from us, then that's egregious.
how much money have we given to Ukraine? Like military aid.
200 billion.
So we gave them 200 billion, and yet people are making better weapons in their garage.
Yes.
Yeah. Then where's the 200 billion? Let's add that to the how much? 35 trillion. That's missing.
And Rob, just really fast, Brandon, I'm still in awe. I genuinely can't believe it, Roger. Because I know Donald Trump spoke with Zelensky recently.
Yes.
Right. Because let's say, God willing, Trump comes in, Roger, with all this madness, with the money and the billions and. What is anything going to change, especially with Zelensky coming here? Because Zelensky was one of the reasons of the impeachment, correct? Was the phone call, do the investigation?
Yes, but at this point, I think even Zelensky would like a negotiated settlement because he's losing. They're losing.
Big time.
So all of this war propaganda in the United States of how the Russians are getting the crap kicked out of them, that's all false. Biden will not allow, or I should say Blinken, will not allow any peace negotiations. There are no ceasefire negotiations. There are no peace. We're not even talking. Well, we're not even allowing the Russians and the Ukrainians to talk. Zelensky, I think, is now looking at survival.
Yeah.
He needs to end this war too because he's getting the crap kicked out of him. Biden and Blinken won't let him end the war. Trump. I think he understands when Trump says, "I will negotiate a settlement." He's not kidding. Trump is the peace candidate in this election. In both theaters, very simple. In the Russia-Ukraine situation, you can get a negotiated settlement. Biden himself said it at the beginning. I'd be willing to give up certain parts of the Donbass to solve this, and then he didn't do it. So even he was willing to do that. And in the Middle East, this is really simple. Cut off Iran's money again. The sanctions that Trump put on Iran meant they could not even sell their oil to the Chinese. The Chinese would not even buy their oil because if they did, they could import nothing to this country.
Wow,
Trump had them frozen. They had no money, the Iranians, for their nuclear weapons development program, no money to subsidize Hamas and Hezbollah for the attacks on Israel. Biden is financing both sides of the war. And then he wonders why we have discord?
1000% agree. So it seems like the most dangerous thing a political candidate could do is try to act for peace because, the military industrial complex becomes like this vicious animal that lashes out at you behind the scenes.
They took two presidents out because of that. JFK understood that the Bay of Pigs was a setup that was meant to push us into war. The original Bay of Pigs invasion plan included air cover for the men storming the beaches from 29 Panamanian-flagged bombers that were supposed to be flown by Cuban pilots, because the whole premise that JFK agreed to was deniability. This cannot look like a U.S. invasion of Cuba. He only approved it on that basis. The number 2 man in the CIA, Charles Cable, canceled the bombers out of Panama the day before the invasion, but no one told Kennedy. Wow. So when the Cuban dissidents, the Cuban mercenaries, the Cubans, were being cut down on the beaches, just cut to ribbons, because the whole plan leaked. Castro knew where they were coming. He knew when they were coming. Yep. Then Curtis LeMay, who was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, head of the Air Force, goes to JFK and says, well, Mr. President, there's only one way to save the day. We got to send in the U.S. Air Force. And Kennedy said, no, that was not part of the plan. What happened to the Panama? Oh, we canceled that. Wow. By the way, Charles Cable, the number 2 guy who canceled it, brother of Dallas Mayor Earl Cable, who was a crony of Lyndon Baines Johnson.
Wow.
It's all part,
everybody's connected.
It's all part of the same setup. So in that case, they took Kennedy out because they wanted war with Russia. He would not allow it. He had also opened back channel discussions with Fidel Castro through a French journalist. He'd also, was sending handwritten letters to Khrushchev, but not putting them through the normal diplomatic channels, because he knew that everybody in the national security apparatus was pro-war. Nixon was taken out because he ended the war in Vietnam. They're very upset about that, because the war in Vietnam was very, very profitable. Oh, yeah. And he reached a strategic arms limitation with the Russians. The Pentagon was against that, as was the war machine. And then the final step, you can see it in his biography. You can also see it in the diary of Bob Haldeman, his chief of staff. He was going to reorganize the entire intelligence agency because he thought the CIA had too much power, and there were too much power in the hands of the unelected bureaucrats. So he was going to reorganize the entire intelligence national security apparatus, and that was an existential threat. Wow. That's why we now know definitively, based on declassified documents, the CIA knew about the plan for the Watergate break-in in advance. They infiltrated the plan. At least 4 of the 8 burglars are still on the payroll of the CIA, are reporting to their handlers at the CIA. It is a setup.
Holy shit.
Hey,
fascinating.
And by the way, and that goes throughout history. Anybody that wanted peace, JFK, MLK, Martin Luther King, Jesus Christ, Gandhi. You want peace? You're done.
Well, and the other thing we know that can't be disputed is every president who has questioned the Federal Reserve has been assassinated.
Oh, shit. That's right.
When you messed with the money, even Lincoln tried to do the greenback thing, and they didn't like that.
Yeah, right. And they shot him in
Garfield was questioning the Fed. He was shot and killed. It's uniform. John Kennedy wanted a silverback dollar. He was fighting with them over a silverback dollar.
What's up, everybody? Vincent O'Shaughnessy here. If you want to see me and the entire Valuetainment crew, we will be at the Vault Conference September 4th through the 7th at the Palm Beach Convention Center, hosted by none other than Patrick Bet-David and featuring Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Guys, this is the place to be. If you are an entrepreneur and you want to level up, do not miss this opportunity. This is the best place to network. If you want tickets, go to thevaultconference.com. Do not waste time. This thing is going to sell out, and I will see you guys there. Peace and love. So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.